get it in here and yeah, like that. So it's gonna be fun.
Hey, yeah, no cheese.
Closet here, and this is a shelf that when the previous owners put it in, they had it cut too short, and this fell off the wall a couple times. You can see that they did some crazy repairs there. Moved it to a different location. So I'm building a thing that I'm going to 3D print. I'm going to design it in Fusion 360, and I want it to come out pretty far to support it. And I'm going to have a gusset here that'll come down, so this will be pretty far down. I could make it out of metal, but I'm thinking a 3D print will be fine. I'm getting my design on now. We're in Fusion 360, and this is where I designed the part, the shelf bracket, and we started out with a basic sketch where I used my measurements for the diameter of the shelf support member, which I think was 8 millimeters. And I took an outer measurement, a little bit, that might be 8 millimeters. And then I went from that measurement to this measurement here. So I added some more. I know this isn't in millimeters, but I know in 3D printing world we're all about millimeters, but this is not the case right now. And then I took measurement from the bottom of that up to the topmost part of the, if I put this around, you'll see. So this will be the bottom of the shelf rungs. The top of the shelf, but it's the bottom of the rung. So that's the measurement from here to there. That's that measurement. And I made those walls thick, and this is like the beginnings of the bracket part that'll get screwed into the wall. Extruded it. There, extruded it right. So this extrusion here is the distance from the wall to where the shelf was cut. So the shelf was cut short. It should have been closer to the wall. Yeah, extrude that more. And then this is where I begin playing with the body some. So then I bring this up because this is on the outside towards the front of the shelf. So I don't need to worry about that causing any problems, but this will be the form of a gusset to provide additional support for this bottom part, which is going to have most of the weight. Rotate the face down to about here. Here I'm just collapsing the sides. See, I'm collapsing the sides that way. Now I'm making the bracket wider. About 6 inches tall, I believe. Let's see, let me take a measurement. Here, I just hit the eye key here. Yeah, 6 inches. And then we can take the width from here, here. 4 inches. Yeah, so it's 6 by 4 inches. I made it. Now I'm adding, you can see there that I extended this for a gusset. And then I rotate the face, the bottom of the face, I rotated it up, brought it down to match the bottom edge there. I don't know if you caught that, but I filled in this by just grabbing this face and pulling it upward. And I did the same thing on this side, so I'll rewind it once. I just grabbed that face and pulled it up. Now I'm doing fillets on all the corners here. Working on this part now, getting it all ready, and I think we're good with the design. I think it'll be very strong. One of the things I'm doing is a fillet, so I'll show you that now. So to do the fillet, I right click on here and I choose fillet. And I'm going to enter a value of 0.5 inches. And see that? Look, makes it a fillet. Ain't that cool? So, and you get to see the rounded corner instead of a sharp corner. So yeah. Now I'm starting to smooth out the edges so we don't have sharp edges, because you know what, 3D prints, there's some sharp edges, so I really wanted to minimize it. I ran a fillet along pretty much the entire perimeter there. Did the holes, and I didn't have to do a chamfer on the holes. It's just for having that panhead screw going on there, right into an anchor on the wall. Now I drew the holes for the screws, because I'll have 4 mounting screws, right? 2 up high, so there's a lot of pressure being pulled downward, and that'll be a strong point. And then this one just for extra, just to keep it against the wall. And I'll use drywall anchors. And I'm just going to choose extrude. And you can extrude and let's see, let me orient this. You can extrude to create a column, but I'm going to push it through and create a hole. Boom, there's our hole. And I don't think I need to countersink them, because I'm going to use panhead screws and not flathead screws. So I think this is a good design. And I use 0.2 inches, which a number 10 screw is 0.19 inches diameter, so that gives me 1/10 of an inch room. So yeah, this thing's working out good, I think. Let's see if I can rotate this so you can see it. There you go. So that's the design. It's going to take a long time to print because it's pretty big, pretty thick. It's a 1/2 inch thick, and this is like 6 inches by like maybe 4 inches. I forget the exact distance I chose. So yeah, and this sticks out a little bit. This part will go quickly, but I'm going to do a lot of layers because I want it to be very strong. It all started from a sketch. That's why I like Fusion 360, because you're able to get your basic concept and then play with the model beyond that. That first and second layer is not looking good, but we'll see if it survives. It's sticking up a little bit, so it's going to cause the print head to move up as it hits each spot. But sometimes it works its way out. I don't care if the bottom layer is not perfect. Oh, you can hear it. It's like bumping into things. So we'll see. This is what I'm talking about, where it might survive. Because here you can see that gap there. Now it's filling over that gap. So I'm going to pause the video and then we'll see what it looks like in 30 seconds. So now you can see it covered over that gap. So this is the questionable area right there. But I think it's going to survive. So here's the real test. It's gonna get a little bumpy. It's crossing over the area that is really questionable. But you can see like the rest of it is looking pretty good. Again, that's the back. I don't care what it looks like. If this were a print that I was selling or making for somebody, I'd start over again and figure out why it's not sticking right or whatever. Could be the temperature, don't be bad. But yeah, the next layer after this will be will really show if this is going to succeed. So we went from looking icky to looking less icky. Yeah, there we go. It's looking better now. So I think all those imperfections are going to work out through these additional layers. And this is the infill. So that's why the print won't take like 29 hours instead it's only taking 10. So I think that looks good. Yeah, clearly a success. We are well into the mounting portion, and we're 8.8 millimeters high, and we have to get to about 12 and a half for a half inch. So it's pretty wild. And then once we get to that, then we'll start printing the part that's actually going to support the shelf. So it'll go a lot quicker. But that sticks out like 2 inches maybe. Sticks out quite a bit. Alright, it's working on the bracket layer now. So now that the mount portion is done, now it's working on this. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, look, Mrs. Udo left the note. That's a big bracket. Oh my god, that thing is ridiculous. Look at that. Yeah, I'll take it off later. Yeah, craziness. I finally printed. Wow. Big old bracket. The old bracket off, and I pushed this one up there. It was quite a bit of a challenge to hold it up because there's a lot of weight here trying to get it from this to level. And then I used a screwdriver to mark my holes, which we'll see if they're accurate or not. I think they are. And then I'm going to drill them out for the anchors, hammer in the anchors, and then we'll start mounting this puppy in there. I got my Craftsman drill bit set. So this is a 14-piece drill bit set. And I'm using the 5/16. No. I'm using a 3/16 bit to drill out for these anchors. These are the anchors that I got. And I got my rigid drill here. So we're drilling this out. Drilling out the holes that I marked. Alright, so now I'm hammering in the anchor. Hammering in, so there's 4 anchors because I did 4 screw holes. Alright, now comes the fun part. Got to hold the shelf up at the same time, screw. Yeah. Here's the shelf bracket. I use this to get it in here and yeah, like that. So it's gonna be fun.
No cheese, man, you must be crazy. I ain't eating that cheese if you pay me. Y'all be lying when you say it's so tasty. Don't you make me take the gun off safety.
I prefer to do this by hand because if I use my screw gun, I'll totally tear right through the anchor. And I'm just doing it snug because I don't want the anchor to twist off.
I ain't trying to have my breath smelling like some feet. So if you try some funny stuff, I promise there will be smoke. All the cheese is lethal. Why you even eat that? Bring it to you, boy. I promise you.
So this was 3D printed using Overture PETG filament.
He was ordering some Swiss wraps real fast. No cheese, man, you must be crazy.
screws. So the screws, it's a lot of lateral force. So we don't have to worry about it pulling out of the wall. Yay! Look at that. So the bracket's installed. The shelf will last. So now we can put stuff on the shelf and not have to worry about it collapsing on us. Yeah, so here we go. The bracket is installed. Hey, look at that. That's a big old chompy. So, there's your chompy. It's your chompy. Mrs. Udoa says it's not chompy. It's your chompy. So yeah, it's a perfect fit. The design, you can see the fillets, how I designed it, and we got the extra gusset here that comes down to give a little bit extra support to the weight that's being affected right here. And then I did a gusset here to give it some additional strength upward. And then this is like straight down force. Yeah, digging it. Yeah, so 3D printing. Didn't take much to do it. Took a long time to print though. It was like 10 hours. Yeah, cool stuff. So I use my rigid drill driver thingy to drill out for the anchors. And then I used number 8 screws, 1.5" number 8 screws to screw it into the wall. 1.5 inches long, because this is a 1/2 inch, the drywall is a 1/2 inch, so it's got a 1/2 inch past the anchor to ensure that it'll stick. And then this is the Craftsman screwdriver I used. Just an old school hammer. Yeah, Craftsman number 2 screwdriver from that set I showed you. And this is the 14-piece Craftsman drill bit set. Yeah, it's good.